What's going on? I wanted to video outside so you don't see it's not a mess, but because it's pretty outside, but there's a bunch of bugs flying around because they burned a bunch of stuff, so not doing that. Finally this week, two good news. One piece of news is I finally have a job, and second is got some content of my dad this week. I'm really excited. We're really figuring it out still. You'll kind of see like we're moving around, testing different angles. Some of the angles I didn't realize were like a little crooked on the tripod, but I think we're gonna stick with just my dad. If he wears his cowboy hat, I don't give two issues about it, because it makes him happy. So, yeah, so if his voice is too soft this time, just know that we'll have mics for the later recordings. And yeah, I'm really excited. I think this is going to be good for him. It's really good for our family just to kind of walk through and kind of just healing in a way. I'm going to have my brother and my mom on sometime. As you'll see, my dad and I can't take each other seriously, so it's really good that we chose not to sit down together, that I'm just behind the camera. I re-listened to all of it, and I sound like such a teacher in the way that I'm asking, and I get better as I go, so I'm really sorry about that. It's extremely cringy, but we're figuring it out. You're learning a little bit about Parkinson's. We'll probably go back a little bit to those questions, but from my understanding of what we were doing this week, it was just to kind of test stuff out, and he just wanted to record, so I'm like, okay, let me just ask some random questions. So yeah, I hope that really pray that this brings awareness to, specifically to Parkinson's, but truly just to any health, any type of thing that families are walking through. It's not just one person, it's affecting everybody. And yeah, it's a really, I'm making a video for the vlog. Can you go outside? Dad's cleaning his car for a car show this weekend. I just really hope it brings awareness to the fact that these people are walking through things that, like Parkinson's and MS specifically, are so internal that, I mean, these people are just in pain, and it just makes me so sad that that's what my dad's walking through 100% of his time of his life for the rest of his life. But as you can see, he even says after he found out about his diagnosis, and I'm going to push him to kind of open up a little bit more about that. But you can see that he's just the Lord's really using him. So I'm just praying that this can be that. Yeah, so that's that. That's really exciting. You'll see at the end, we're going to end it with him reading an excerpt from one of his books, because he has so many books. You'll see them behind him. There's a bookshelf you can't see. There's a bunch of books on the ground you can't see. So he'll have plenty to choose from, and it's really good for him to practice. You'll kind of see that he loses his stamina, his strength and breath because of Parkinson's. So yeah, it's a sucky disease, but my dad is a freaking trooper, and every single person that struggles with this disease, any other type of health thing, they are freaking rock stars, because yeah, it's a lot. On my personal note, I have a job teaching high school, U.S. history, government, world history, and geography for an alternative school. It's going to be really stretching. All these kids just weren't able to pass their classes, circumstantial reasons, attendance, whatever it may be, and they chose to stay at the school to finish those credits. So I'm part of helping with those credits, finishing those credits. So that's my update, but enjoy the rest of this. About this. So there's two ways we can do this. I sit right next to you, and I ask you the questions. Or we can do it where it's just you. And I ask the questions from behind the camera.
No.
You don't want to do that. Why? Okay, what about this? It's just from here up. So you don't see our legs. What are you reading? Okay, I need you to actually, because
Poor white child.
oh, I started recording. Okay. We'll start with your name.
Lawrence Scott Moss.
But you go by.
Larry.
Yes, Suzanne, we're recording. Okay.
I'm not related to her.
So, from what you're understanding, why do I want to record you talking about Parkinson's?
So when I die, you got a picture of me?
No.
No.
Why would I want you to share your experience with the world?
Tell
Or
other
my
people.
15 subscribers.
Tell other people.
Okay. You want to too.
I know, I hate everybody. Yeah, no, I help other people.
Okay. I haven't looked at the questions because we were...
Go get it, let's do it. I just shit out.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Okay, so what is Parkinson's?
It's different for different people at different times of the day. This is a disease that affects your brain,
Okay.
your full body. It doesn't allow you to operate normally
Why is it called a movement disorder?
because it affects the movement of your body.
What exactly is going on in your body that's affecting your
Me
movement?
personally,
Just in general, like you said, it's going to be
I'm
different.
really stiff. Can't hardly move sometimes.
Yeah.
As you can tell by my voice is affected by Parkinson's.
What's happening? Because it's affecting your nerves, which is then affecting your movement. So what is it doing to your nerves?
That's where DBS comes into play because I had DBS a while back.
I know, but we're talking about that later.
I know, but the electric current in my brain affects my body. According to how they adjust the current going in my brain.
But what's happening to the nerves? Like Parkinson's, it's affecting your brain. So the dopamine, right? Your brain's no longer making dopamine, which how does that affect your nerves?
They allow them to communicate properly.
Okay. So technically the nerves just aren't communicating the way they're supposed to, which isn't telling your body to move,
Right.
like to wake up in the morning, for example.
Well, no, I wake up.
Not wake up, but like to move in the morning.
Right. Like this morning, I call it getting stuck. I can't move.
Yeah.
I had to sit there for a second to get going. I knew a guy that could go through a doorway. He had to throw something through the doorway first before he could move through it.
Throw it?
He'd throw a sock or a shoe through the doorway, which triggered something in his brain, which allowed him to move through
To
the door.
follow it. Huh. Okay, let's see how you sound. Okay, so do you want me to ask questions differently? How do you want me to? Because that's how I would.
Yeah, go ahead. Whatever you want to do.
No, I just mean like I would ask you questions like that to help you explain it. Okay, so when were you first diagnosed?
This is September 29th. Right now.
27th.
This is September 27th
Uh-huh.
of 2023.
Uh-huh.
I was diagnosed 10 years ago.
No, 8 years ago.
I know, but I knew I had it 10 years ago.
Yes. And I remember that because it was my sophomore year of college and you were having just like some health stuff. And I remember sitting in class being really nervous. It was all when you were going gluten-free. So when you went gluten-free, did that help with inflammation, right?
Yes.
And so the inflammation was affecting...
Which is very painful.
Yeah. And then it was... It was 8 years ago when I was student teaching that you found out.
Well, I knew before that, though, easy.
I know, but from what I understand,
Doctor told me 8 years ago.
yeah. So from what I understand, was you were officially diagnosed with you knew it was Parkinson's before, or you just knew something was you had something. How did you know it was
I'm
Parkinson's?
studying it. I was diagnosed by a doctor here in town.
Mm-hmm.
Went to St. Louis for a second diagnosis.
Was Mom there with you?
Yeah.
My understanding of the story is that you didn't tell Mom at first. But you didn't tell her for how long?
Long time. I want to get figured out first.
Yeah. And then I was student teaching overseas.
She had a lot of boyfriends, she just run away whenever she wanted.
And I was student teaching, so you didn't tell me because I was overseas. And then you shared with Nathan though earlier. No? You told him before you.
I don't know. It didn't matter.
I know. I'm just going through the timeline wise. So when you were officially diagnosed, obviously it's not a diagnosis you would want. So what? So what do you think? What was your initial reaction? And then, I have my experience of what I saw you walk through, but personally, what was your initial reaction? Because like you said, you knew before, but when it was verified, you have Parkinson's.
I was bummed out, but there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
I just picked it up and go. Figured out what I had to do. Every day is a little bit different. Like this morning was better than yesterday. Yesterday was bad.
Why was yesterday bad?
I couldn't move.
Oh.
And I had to get so much sleep. Sleep is very important.
But you struggle with sleep.
And more. I go to bed about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Or 1 o'clock. I'm not struggling.
You stay asleep.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So before you weren't staying asleep. Okay. Say goodbye.
Goodbye, Larry. This is a book on Winston Churchill written by Lord Moran, who was his doctor back during World War II, day by day. So we picked January 16th, 1943 in Casablanca during the war.
Okay.
This afternoon I went for a walk. The same idea had occurred to the chief of staff. I found them talking at the water's edge. Dill, who was with him, gazing at the white breakers, said they had been very lucky in the weather for the invasion of North Africa.
For the invasion of North Africa?
If the sea had been rough as it is now, the landings would not have been possible. War is a game of chance, and luck had given them a 1 day in 50 when we could land. We walked slowly back. Portal, who's a guy on his staff, who was full of odd scraps of information, which he usually kept to himself, explained to Dill how the staff travels in a